Happy Blur's Day. Yep, there's an actress down the street who calls it Blur's Day. Like, why are we even keeping track of the days anymore? We love Blur's Day. That's a great one. My wife has totally fallen in love with that, so we're calling every day Blur's Day now. This is the second special I'm doing on the coronavirus, so let's call this the Coronavirus Chronicles Part 2. A lot of these virtual comedy shows have a 5-second lag. Luckily, I'm prepared for that. I've played Alabama. To help with social distancing, the liquor store in our neighborhood has placed these X's 6 feet apart so you know where to stand. But this is LA, so I just feel like I'm auditioning to buy vodka. It's great when I get home and it's actually not a prop, it's real vodka, that's a good thing. But the great part about it is I don't have to slate because it's a convenience store. As I run out the door, they just look at the height strips. Well, the curve is flattening, but the people are fattening.
Just a reminder, those of us who get to decide what to do with our days are very lucky.
Remember that scene in the Bible where Moses is holding apart the Red Sea so his people can cross? That is me right now with my eyebrows. I mean, these are completely out of control. Without European Wax Center, we are shot, dude. This is really, really tough. I haven't had a unibrow since college, and I know my left brow and right brow are singing together like it's a 70s song. Reunited, and it feels so good. So let me get this straight. People are wearing masks so they can't talk, but they can listen. Dude, ideal comedy crowd.
Coronavirus, Tiger King. It's so weird that both things trending have a crown.
My wife and I were on a Zoom call recently. They're doing all of these Zoom calls for birthdays and anniversaries and showers. We were about 15 to 20 minutes late, and we finally had to admit to ourselves that traffic was never the reason that we were late. Right, you really finally come to grips with the fact that, all that traffic getting to the bedroom to get to our computer and get set up. It's like, wait a second, it was never that. We just have to admit that our lives are in a state of constant disorder. It took us a long time to say goodbye on this call, too. It was a bunch of Indian people. It took us 5 goodbyes. I thought that was an IRL thing. In real life, it always takes us a long time to say goodbye. And my theory was that it's because Indians are late to everything, so we take a long time to arrive, so we may take a long time to leave. Nope. Maybe it's the shoes thing. I don't know. Maybe because we put on our shoes and then we say goodbye and then we're at a different height then and we're catching up at that height instead. The app is literally called Zoom. Zoom, like hurry up, get out of here. And we still can't do it. I'm a bigger narcissist than I ever really thought possible. Okay, because it doesn't matter how good looking the person is on the other side of the Zoom call. I still look at myself in the little window. I don't know if you do that as well on FaceTime calls. I'm always looking at myself in the window. Like, can you just look at the person or at the camera or something? Clearly, I cannot do that. I don't know what's going on with me. I think what I'm going to do the next time I'm on a Zoom call is screenshot it so that I can upload that as my virtual background in Zoom. And that way I can go take a nap. I don't know, I could go on to TaskRabbit and hire a doppelganger. Neil Kashkari, is he available? If we could get Neil Kashkari to sit in for me, that would be totally dope. If you don't know who he is, look him up. We're both in California. We're both Indian. We're both bald. I think it would work. You can tell the age of a reporter on TV by whether or not they have a printer at home.
The other night, I had a dream. Whole thing took place at my house. I've been cooped up here so long, I cannot even imagine what it is like to leave.
I have a Twisted Sister song in my head, except it's, we're not gonna make it. Out here in LA, it's amusing to watch white people who are clearly woke and probably liberal sort of tense up as they see my wife and me walking towards them because they don't want to cross the street because we're people of color. You can almost see the gears grinding like, oh, we're sorry, we don't mean to cross it. It's not because you're, darker, or it's not that we see race. You just see the tense up and it's so sweet to see. I was wearing a mask at the grocery store and I don't know what happened. Maybe my associative memory kicked in. I looked at the bag man and I went trick or treat. It also, though, sometimes feels like we're walking towards them, and this is LA, right? So you can see people coming from miles away, practically. And it feels like, we're James Dean in Rebel Without a Cause, getting closer and closer. But from far away, it probably just looks like the lamest game of chicken anyone has ever played. Maybe it's because I grew up in the 90s, but every time I hear New York Governor Andrew Cuomo say the word ventilators, I just hear, ventilators, mount up.
If kids replace Tide Pods with Lysol, will we have disinfected youth?
China gives us corona, and India gives us the doctors to fix it. One thing I want to do is give a shout out to all those Indian doctors out there. I was watching an MSNBC show, white host, 3 brown doctors on the panel. #DocBrown. Did anyone ever think of that? Doc Brown? Somebody should have that as a license plate. If I would have become a doctor, Doc Brown would have been my license plate instead of Out of Time. 1917 almost won Best Picture at the Oscars this year. They were going to make a sequel called 1918, but given that whole Spanish flu thing, they've decided against it.
We saw Mr. Tom Hanks host Saturday Night Live from his kitchen. If that is Tom Hanks' kitchen, we are not doing that bad for ourselves.
I discovered a whole new way of getting hurt online. I had signed into my friend Jacob's Instagram Live. Probably shouldn't use his real name, but Jacob, screw you. You know why? I signed into this dude's Instagram Live, and you know how you can leave comments? I see my friend read the comment above mine, respond to it, and then I see him mouthing words that I go, that's mine. He doesn't reply, and he goes to the comment after mine. I'm like, dude, way to throw shade at me in front of all 8 of the people who were tuned in to watch you. So you know what? Screw you, Jacob. Stores are still stocking travel size like they're mocking us.
I'm on this Nextdoor app. You know, if you spend any time on Nextdoor, you start to think maybe this coronavirus is not such a bad thing. My wife and I spent a lot of time trying to get into this neighborhood, and it turns out we're surrounded by idiots. I mean, who are these people around us? We worked so hard to get here. Turns out we could have just gotten C's in high school and college and lived here anyway. What were we doing working so hard?
I wanted to write a song called My Corona, and then I discovered when I went on YouTube about 1 billion other comedians had come up with this idea. But maybe based on the way that the hurricane affected George W. Bush's presidency, Donald Trump needs to be singing My Katrina. We're all wearing masks. It kind of feels like we're rocking a hijab. Maybe if there were a coronavirus. Coronavirus? Anyone? Come on. Ramadan Mubarak, by the way.
Quarantine Daily Journal, Day 35. I sneezed, my wife said shut up. It takes 35 days for my wife to go from bless you to shut up.
People keep asking me how I'm doing. Hey look, this is the way I put it. I'm with the woman I love, in our home, in great weather. And it sucks. Okay, you know how pronouns have become controversial? He and she and Z and all these things that are going on, especially out here in LA? I was on a call the other day, a house party hangout actually, with a single friend in New York and a single friend in Miami. And I started throwing around we a lot, referring to my wife and I as we. And all of a sudden it occurred to me that I was hurting their feelings every time I said we. They're like, could you please stop saying we and rubbing it in that you actually have a life partner, you have someone with whom you're living? And all of a sudden it just felt super aggro to use we. So I'm sorry, I don't mean to use we as an aggressive pronoun. You have to feel bad for people in this situation who are cooped up by themselves. Although I think the person we need to feel bad for right now is my wife. I think she's a saint who's actually putting up with me for all these days. So you know what? Kudos, Hersha. On my TV, in one day, I had Donald Trump, Joe Exotic, and Michael Jordan. Liars and tigers and bulls, oh my.
It's amazing. Even now when I ask people how they're doing, I still tune out.
It's kind of funny how we can still tell when people have their masks on which one the jerks are, right? Even with half of the real estate covered, you're like, I bet that guy's an asshole. I don't think we're really missing faces, though, anyway. Are we? Are we missing faces? People were looking down at their phones all the time, so what are we really missing? I heard somebody refer to this as the coronial era, and I couldn't help but crack up, and I'm sorry, guys, but that's exactly how a Chinese person would say colonial.
Apparently, people are baking so much, there's a flour shortage. If you want to charm that special lady in your life, don't send her flowers, send her flour.
I love how Oklahoma initially refused to close. They were saying we're too vital to the nation to shut down. You know what? California is the world's 5th largest economy, and we shut the state down pretty quickly. So I think there's just something comedically ironic. Look, I'm from Fairfield, Ohio, okay? I'm not trying to get big for my britches here, but that's exactly my point. It's the people in the rural areas and smaller towns that are itching to go outside and saying we can't take it anymore. We live in Los Angeles. Disneyland is down the street. That's closed. We can't go anywhere. There are all sorts of cool things to see. What are you missing in Fairfield, Ohio? I lived there for 30 years in Fairfield and Hamilton and Cincinnati. What are you missing? That bar that basically looks like your back patio? Make Dennis Rodman America's mascot. That way you know we'll rebound. It seems like we're slowly reopening America, and I feel like it's going to be kind of like middle school gym dances, right? Where everybody gets out there and the boys are on one side and the girls are on the other. And by the end of it, the boy might still be on the one side, sad face. Yeah, I usually went home alone. But the point is, I think that's what it's going to be like re-entering society, or maybe like Indian parties where the Indian uncles are on one side and the aunties are on another side. They don't really quite get together. I'm just not totally sure what to expect in this situation. We're going to sort out into two types of citizens, people with antibodies and without. I think the people without are going to look at the ones with and be like, damn, look at that antibody. I think it's going to be, when we go to touch people finally, it's going to be like asking them if they had an STD. You know, you haven't been with anyone, have you?
After this is over, every Yelp review better be 5 stars. Really, who's going to have guts to give fewer than 5 stars? Well, we were eating, food was a little bit cold. Dude, you're out of the house! Stop complaining and eat your meal!
Okay, so Donald Trump got in a lot of trouble for suggesting that we ingest poison, which I guess he should get in trouble for that. But in his defense, in my big fat Greek wedding, the dad was basically spraying Windex on his skin the entire time. And I posted this status on Facebook, and Windex, the Windex company, SC Johnson, a family company, wrote back and told me, make sure you do not ingest this stuff. I don't know if Windex is helpful or harmful, but I still don't know. Look, I've been drinking vodka tonics for years, and when you go to buy tonic water, it says contains quinine. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's in huge font on the packaging, and I still don't know if it's good for you or not. So you know what, Trump? You get a little bit of a break on this one. I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation for a few more weeks. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to the Coronavirus Chronicles Part 2. It's been certainly strange delivering this right into a camera. A lot of artists are out of work right now, and I appreciate the support from the communities. But if you got some enjoyment out of this, please send me a Venmo or a PayPal or a Chase QuickPay. You can find me at Rajiv Satyal. You'll find me. Guys, stay safe and take care.
Any creative projects you're working on right now?
Well, I think the coolest thing of the last week, and probably also the highlight, was the video that we put out called Spreading Cheer Not Corona, a viral video, well, an antiviral video. So do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because to me, that was a really great collaboration that you and I both had.
We gathered a bunch of our friends. It ended up being 51 people. It turned into the Sprawling Project. 50 Indians from around the world just saying a couple words into the camera to give some inspiration and some good cheer to others. And it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work to edit that whole piece together, making a video tight with 51 people. But we did it, we launched it, and the best news is people said they watched it and they smiled. They really liked it. So happy about that.
We told people they could say whatever they wanted, and that was great because a lot of the folks are super creative, so we didn't want to prescribe and be like, hey, why don't you say this or that? But then we got it all back, and I know you like jigsaw puzzles. It was very much a jigsaw puzzle to try to assemble this thing, figure out how does it all fit together. Big shout out to Sam and Brandon and Danielle, all the people on our team who helped us out, because it was a monumental effort, but it was, we all got closer because of it, and that's what you hope. You hope at the end of it you don't all fall apart. You hope that you get closer, and that's the idea.
Here's the thing. I've been asked to do a lot of things. And it's not like I don't have the time. I just don't have the motivation. So I hope your video goes well because I'm not in it.
And we are recording.
Okay, can we send it? Okay, now I'm recording.
Alrighty, in 3, 2.
Back here.
Hello, peoples. Hey, everyone.
Hi, you guys.
Good morning, my friends.
Yo.
My dearest and sweetest friends.
Parminder in the house. Well, I would hope so, seeing as we're in quarantine.
Okay. Quarantine is a crazy thing. Hey, yo, I'm staying at home dressing like the Tiger King.
From my quarantine family to yours. I hope all of you are staying safe and staying inside.
Drinking turmeric and garlic and all that shit that your mom sends in WhatsApp.
Hope dies in the darkness.
Shine your light
on everyone around you.
A massive thank you to
Bus drivers,
first responders,
doctors, nurses,
grocery store workers, and basically anybody who is on the front lines or doing essential work while all of us are staying at home.
anyone who is using their passions, skills, and talents in the service of others right now.
People serving overseas, everyone that's doing their part to get us to the other side.
We have so much gratitude for all of you.
it reminds you that there really are good people out there.
Now it's our job to respect your work by doing our part.
Man, by the time all this COVID stuff is over, I just hope they say Sanjay Gupta's name right. Sanjay Anderson, not Sanjay.
Your mom. COVID-19 targets older people and people who are more likely to get sick more than anybody else. And you know who's more likely to get sick or be old? Your mom.
Throughout history, it was moments like this that created some of the best ideas of our time.
We are most successful when we are a we first and not a me first society.
At a time of adversity, I always remember that.
Love is showing up in the most beautiful, creative ways ever.
Just as long as you stand by me. Not too close though. Stand by me.
I can't believe people need to be inspired to sit at home. Guys, this is the least anybody has ever asked anybody to do for them.
86% of the country is following the lockdown. But 14% of India is basically the US.
We are finally at home, like our parents and our aunties and uncles have always asked us to be.
I'm spending all of my time at home. I'm cooking a lot, reading a lot, writing a lot.
Connecting to my friends and family every single day, maybe too much actually.
Now that I'm home, I can do all the things I always wanted to do. What'll it be tonight? The Iliad, the Odyssey. Oh, Tiger King.
Studying for the SATs, because even if you're 45, you could always do better.
You're able to eat home-cooked food.
Really positive experience in terms of our working relationship.
What are you making?
I baked like a bomb-ass pineapple upside down cake.
Eat some cake. That's what I'm doing.
Now I just consider breakfast the appetizer for the snack before lunch.
There's chai at the end of the tunnel.
So we have a teenager and toddler, and so I'm ready for anything when I go back to Congress at this point.
I found a terrific closet to get my work done in. The kids are taken care of. I mean, I really don't have any complaints. It's been...
Enjoy the small moments in life, because that's all that really matters. No, you guys are doing a really good job. And it's a hard day, it's a hard life, but I guarantee that we'll be all right. It's a hard day and it's a hard life, but I guarantee we'll be all right.
You're missing all the advantages. Look at my hair. I haven't cut it. I haven't combed it.
I really need a haircut.
This mustache?
It bothers me that hair removal places aren't considered an essential business.
One tip though, while at home, I find
it's more important to have a quiet mind than a positive mind.
This isn't the moment to be the perfect partner or the perfect mom or the perfect colleague.
I hope you're not treating this quarantine as some kind of a productivity competition, because it's not. If anything, just inspire yourself to get out of bed and wear a pair of pants. That's it.
Have I showered today, Boo? She can't leave me. Where's she gonna go?
Let's get through this.
Let's show each other the best of us.
So let's stay home, stay safe.
Social distance.
Stay safe, stay healthy.
And don't forget to wash your hands.
We are going to find a cure and kick this freaking corona out.
And I can't wait to see everyone after all this is over.
And with that, we all just wanted to say one thing.
We didn't all become doctors, but we are all wearing masks every day.
Biggest virtual hug.
Love you guys.
I love you so much.
Thank you so much.
Sending you all lots of love.
We'll get through this.
Namaste.
Look at my shoulder pad.